Now, our penultimate category for today is predictive analytics, which leverages advanced analytical techniques, including data mining and machine learning, to forecast future shopper behavior trends based on both current data as well as former trends. Well, we're joined now by Asher Geffen, Director of Business Development at Pecan.ai, Elad Schwarzberg, Senior Business Development at Microsoft, and our moderator, Dov Yarkoni, Managing Director, CEO at Nielsen Innovate.
Hello, everyone. Thanks all for staying around for the last couple of sessions, and of course, closing remarks from Oren and team. Great event. So as you all know, more and more organizations are turning to predictive analytics to increase their bottom line, create competitive advantages across all verticals: manufacturing, healthcare, finance, and of course, retail. The global predictive analytics market size is expected to be valued at $24 billion by 2025, and that's up from $6 billion in 2018. So huge growth, huge opportunities for many startups, for many implementations, and many organizations to take advantage. Predictive analytics is the use of data, statistical algorithms, and machine learning techniques to identify the likelihood of future outcomes based on historical data, of course. The goal is to go beyond knowing what has happened, but to have best assessment of what will happen in the future. It's been around for decades. The technology and the time has finally come where it can be implemented across the board. With interactive and easy-use software, it's becoming more common that predictive analytics is not just a domain for mathematicians and statisticians. It's also the domain for business analysts and online business experts, or inline business experts, that can use these technologies. And that's exactly what Pecan is doing. Asher Geffen, who is the Senior Director of Business Development, will give an overview of such a solution to enable it across organizations. Go ahead, Asher.
Thanks a lot, Dov. I'll just share my screen. You see my screen?
It is not yet.
Oh,
there we go.
Perfect. Okay, so Dov, thank you so much, and thank you everybody for the time and for the opportunity. My name is Asher Geffen. I lead business development at Pecan. So indeed, with the rise of predictive analytics and its promise to businesses, creating predictions and business-oriented predictive models still remains a pain. It takes too long, it's very complicated, and there's not always enough people around with the right skill sets to get it done. Pecan's mission is to solve that challenge and to make it predictive analytics and AI a lot more accessible than it has been so far. Pecan is 3 years old, founded by a team of PhDs, backed by Dell and S Capital, and already serving several global companies, including several retailers globally. We enable companies to improve their performance in using AI-based modeling where they might have not have been using it before, since it has been such an investment of time, resources, and know-how. What we do is basically help retailers better understand their customers and their prospects by enabling them to have the capability to use their data in a very simple way with a platform that's creates data science, helps them create data science-based models, but without needing to be data scientists or to need to code or to do any complicated calculations. The users of the platform are business analysts. They're not required to have any data science background. All they need to know is to know what an analyst knows where their data is, what form of the data is, and of course, know the business itself, the business dynamic, in order to create the right models and the right predictions. With Pecan, an analyst who's running BI reporting can connect to his or her data, whether it's transactions, pricing, the CRMs, the ERPs, third-party data, easily design a predictive model for several use cases and several customer journey-related use cases in a very easy drag-and-drop interface. And all of this leading to being very close to the business and increasing retention and sales. Use cases like churn prediction, customer segmentation, and any other use case that can be modeled by using the customer data. Our secret sauce is basically twofold. One, we automated the entire process of data preparation to the point where really you can connect your data with no slicing or dicing or manipulation, just connect the outputs of the different data sources that I've just mentioned and many others. And then you can connect that, create that model with that drag and drop and very easy to use platform. Second, we've created easy-to-use templates that basically guide you through creating a predictive model. So in other predictive models, usually the user would need to know a lot of data science of what kind of model to use and what kind of techniques to use. Here, it's all stays in the business domain. It guides you step by step. How do you define churn? Who is your customer? What are the attributes that can be relevant? Where are the data sources that you need to use? No code, very, very simple, and basically enabling the analyst to have another superpower of creating predictive models beyond the reporting. We've been helping retailers in the US and Europe do this and basically have this capability of creating predictive models, helping them increase retention, increase upsell, collection, and all of this by looking and using at their data at a very short time and using their analysts and not the data scientists, which might be there, but maybe not, don't get to all of the use cases that the company would like to drive. A lot of churn prediction and analysis, identifying the high lifetime value customers, optimizing promotion plans, and many, many more. Basically, we know these are challenging times, and especially, I think, connected to the last point of the previous presenter, that the main benefit, I think, and one of the benefits that we see in predictive analytics now is that we enable them to have better transparency on their biggest assets, their data and their customers, and help them leverage it a lot more. So companies who use these two assets and with this capability of predictive analytics can get ahead of the game also in these challenging times. So that's a bit of how we do.
Elad, are you online? Elad from Microsoft?
Yes, guys, I'm here.
Okay. Just couldn't see your video, so it didn't pop up.
Yeah, I have trouble with my video here.
Okay. So just a quick question for Asher, and then we'll turn it over to Elad from Microsoft. Asher, you're talking about your templates there, and not all data is equal, or each retailer might have a different type of data structure, different data. So can you elaborate a little bit more on how that works, and is it really that easy to map it all and what kind of the data is?
Sure, absolutely. So basically, the know-how and the IP that we've developed, the founders and developers have developed over the years, enabled to get to a point where we basically use AI to create AI. And we use neural networks in order to restructure and understand the data that in its original point. Now, we're not promising things that we don't know at this point. So we're talking about BI, quote unquote, BI ready data. So data that's in tables in some shape or form, not images or free text or anything like that. But given that the data is in some kind of tabular form, we know how to restructure, do the imputation, the enrichment, the outliers, the feature engineering, all of that heavy lifting, which is actually 90% of the way to creating a predictive model, an actionable predictive model, is the data preparation, and that's the big that's one of the big innovations here. The creating that automation of data preparation, enabling people who also are not familiar with these techniques to have that under the hood, helping them in driving the most important part, was actually creating the business value.
Great, thank you. And I guess, on the point of, back to the point of Irad from the previous CD4 presentation, talking about black swans and using historical data to predict the future. When you have such an event, like how far back, what data is enough, and it's a question for Asher, and of course Elad can potentially also ask chime in on that one.
Sure. Well, we're seeing a lot of that now because I think the point is very valid that if we're relying on historical data and the history isn't relevant, so what's the point? So I think this is one of the big revelations of predictive analytics, that with relatively small subset, and I'll get to how much data one needs, but with a relatively small subset of data, you can help make valid predictions. So we've been doing that now with a couple of retailers and different restaurant chains around the world as they're reopening after COVID, that is shut down, basically understanding what is the new normal. And it's clear that the demand will not be the same as before. So we've been helping them take the first few weeks of data and understand what the new demand is. And so basically understanding the subtleties of the new data set enables us to create those predictions. So I would say in regard to how much data is needed, so the easy answer is the more the better, but that anyone, I think, and the participants can say that. The minimum would be a couple of thousands of, depends what kind of data we're looking at, but line items. Anything more than that would be very, very helpful. In terms of transactions of large chains, so a number of weeks as a rule of thumb could be helpful, and we're beginning to work on those kinds of pilot projects. But that's basically those are my thoughts on those questions.
Elad, would you like to add any, and maybe also elaborate why finally now in predictive analytics, we've been talking about it for years, it's finally here. We have tools like Pecan, but also power users. Can you share a few
Yes.
thoughts from Microsoft?
Yes, of course. So I think I don't need to add anything to what has been said, because mainly it's I think it's all that need to say, because we are in the we were in the middle of the we don't know yet if the COVID-19 data, for example, we just have 2 months of data. So we need to look and to wait and see if it will be enough. But for the second question, this is a very good question, and I heard a lot from customers, because AI research and understanding has been here for many decades, and we as humans have been pursuing this for a while. We can take, for example, the insurance companies. They do risk analysis for so long. So the question is really, so why now? Why so this all the possibilities with AI and ML are accelerating today? I think I can point on 3 main drivers for this change. The first one is, of course, the huge amount of data that is existence today in the companies, and every company holds their data and is saved in big data stores. So this is the first thing that we need, a lot of data, because we know that AI and ML needs a lot of data in order to work well. The second one is the algorithms. We've made a significant AI investment, especially in deep learning and the power of neural networks that are powering these deep learning systems. So now we have more sophisticated algorithms, so we can ask more sophisticated questions. And the third one that I think is actually the main thing and the main driver is the compute power available today in the cloud. Because if, back in the days, if we wanted to have a really big compute power, we need to buy a really expensive machine. So now everyone with a pulse and a credit card can buy whatever software we want in the cloud and run on it whatever workload you want. So if we combine those 3 together, the big data, the algorithms that now are much more sophisticated, and the cloud, I think this is the main reason why we see the AI and ML now these days are in accelerating.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. I think we're right on time. Back to you, Ben.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Elad Schwarzberg, Asher Geffen, and of course, Dov Yerkoni for moderating.